Hola a todos, ¿qué tal? Espero que todo esté bien. Okay, so in less than 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to conjugate poder in every single Spanish tense. Every single one. Obviously, I can't go through in lots and lots of detail, but on this guide that you can see currently, you'll find lots of example sentences, how to use each of these tenses in context, when these tenses are used in Spanish, and hopefully that will make things a lot more easy for you when conjugating poder. Now, poder in the present tense is irregular just in the first person singular form. We don't say pono, we say pongo, okay? So remember this. Pongo, I put. Then the rest is regular. Pones, pone, ponemos, ponéis, ponen. Okay, so we have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay, so I'm not going to read these pronouns, these pronombres every time as we go through, but just remember this is what they mean here under pronouns, and this is the pronouns in Spanish. Okay, and lastly, remember that vosotros or vosotras is very Spanish. It's not used in Latin America. So if you're planning to speak Mexican Spanish, Colombian Spanish, any type of Spanish in Latin America, remember that they don't use vosotros. This is pretty exclusive to Spain, and they would instead use ustedes. Okay, right, 3.5 minutes left. Let's go through. So, preterite tense, I put in the preterite tense. Puse, pusiste, puso, pusimos, pusisteis, pusieron. Imperfect tense, okay, so I was putting or I used to put. Ponía, ponías, ponía, poníamos, poníais, ponían. Notice where I'm putting the stress of the word, where the accent is here, ponía. It's not ponía or ponías, it's ponía, ponías. Okay? The future tense, so will, I will put, we have, and again, regular, okay? So it's not ponere, it's pondré. Pondré, pondrás, pondrá. Pondremos, pondréis, pondrán. Moving on to the conditional tense, this is would, I would put. So pondría, pondrías, pondría. Pondríamos, pondríais, pondrían. Next up, we have the perfect tense. And this is where we take the verb haber, which is our auxiliary verb, meaning to have, and we conjugate this. So we have has, a, hemos, habéis, an. So I have, you have, he, sure, it has, we have, you, plural, have, they have. And then the past participle of poner, which is puesto. So he puesto, has puesto, ha puesto. Hemos puesto, habéis puesto, han puesto. So I have put, you have put, he or she has put, etc., etc. Okay? The pluperfect tense, imagine that last tense we just did and take a step back from I have had to I had had. Okay, so for example, I had had a great time before my ex-girlfriend showed up. There's an example of how to use that. Okay, so había puesto, habías puesto, había puesto, habíamos puesto, habíais puesto, habían puesto. So this past participle is staying the same. We're just conjugating haber. Future, I will have put. So habré puesto, habrás puesto, habrá puesto. Habremos puesto, habréis puesto, habrán puesto. The conditional perfect, so I would have put, habría puesto, habrías puesto, habría puesto. And then we have habríamos puesto, habríais puesto, habrían puesto. Next up, we have a subjunctive, and I'm not going to talk to you about the subjunctive because this is for an entirely different video, a different article. There's a lot to it. However, look at this guide, look at the use cases in these sentences here, and study these endings to learn them. Okay, the same applies for the imperfect subjunctive. And here on this guide as well, you'll also find how to use the affirmative imperative and the negative imperative. Okay, now the last thing I will say is throughout this article, you're going to see a link to a course. Click that link. It's going to give you access to a free trial for what I think is the best Spanish course on the market right now. It's not Babbel, it's not Duolingo. You probably haven't heard of it, so be sure to check that out.